Well, hello there. This is Autotech. I've got nothing else to do today, and it's a pretty nice day, and I've got some time to kill until I got stuff to do this evening. So we're gonna do another scenic route, and the route we're gonna do today is, oh man, this thing's so famous. Like, it's so popular. All the time on the Facebook groups, people are asking, is it open yet? And it's like, okay, but like, I realize it's March and it's a little bit nice in Calgary, but a mountain pass is not going to be ready to go. And then, you know, you get the posts in late September and stuff, and people are like, I want to do that road this weekend, and it's like, okay, man, there's snow in the mountains. Like, you know, I realize you can't grasp the concept of the fact that, you know, like, we live in a city that's like a couple hundred miles from there. Like, weather changes when you get to the mountains. The route we're going to be doing today, it's called the Highwood Pass, or it is basically Highway 40 from Trans-Canada number 1 to Longview, Alberta. So it's kind of like it just like kind of cuts through a pass and gets into the southern side of Calgary-ish. So what's the deal with this route and why is it so popular? I'm not entirely sure. I believe it is the highest paved road in Alberta. I want to say Canada, but I'm not sure if Rogers Pass is higher or not, so I'm going to say it's definitely the highest paved road in Alberta. And, you know, like, it is a good ride. Like, it's got some good turns and stuff like that, and if there's not too many tourists or commuters and stuff like that, you definitely could have some fun on it. This one would definitely be one of the more popular routes for the Calgary, Alberta area. If I don't see people posting about doing a 1A trip, they're usually posting about doing a Highwood Pass trip. So, you know, again, if you find yourself in the area and you got the time, it's definitely worth checking out. Like any great Alberta ride or prairie ride, you got some boring stuff to get there. Now, it doesn't really matter what part of the city you're in. There's only really like 2 ways I can think of to get to that. You can come to it from the north on Highway 1, or you can come to it from the south on Highway 22 through like Longview. I personally like going through the south side, like, even though I live on the north edge of the city. I don't really have a valid reason for that. It's just what I like. With it being a fairly early weekend morning, I knew the traffic wouldn't be too bad to get across the city on the south side, so that's what I decided to do. Now that I'm on Alberta 2A heading southbound, I will probably check in with you guys once I hit the city limits when we actually have to make a turn. Okay, so when you start getting to this shopping complex, I guess, like 15 minutes down the road there, you're going to want to take Highway 22X west. Yes. They got a lot of construction going on down at this end, so I didn't get the camera on in time, but they actually just had like a little sign just on the side of the road. Like, it was like just like right there, and it was like a little 2-foot sign. So if you weren't from the area and you didn't have GPS, you could easily miss that. And if you missed it, you're going to be going a little ways south before you realize it. So on the left here, you can see the sign, and then you can probably see those white and green buildings behind this massive dirt pile. That is called Spruce Meadows. And what that is a super famous, like, equestrian riding, British horse jumping, whatever you want to call it, grounds. Every year they hold like this big tournament. I can't remember the name of it because I don't really care. But either way, like, it's super famous and it's super popular, and a lot of people from all over the world come and enter in that. And the grounds, like, it doesn't look like a whole lot from like the highway, but those grounds are actually massive. Like, it would probably take you a good 30 minutes to 45 minutes to walk from one end to the other. So, I mean, you know, that's a good mile at least. Now that you're on 22X and you're past anything that's worth looking at, just kind of set the wrist lock and maintain your speed for quite a while. I will check in with you at the turn. Alright, so after a little while there, you'll start to roll up on these signs here, junction 22, and it'll say like Turner Valley, Black Diamond, blah, 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 blah. Basically you want to hang a left on there, and now we are going to head south. This is pretty well, you know, you're going to be on 2-lane roads all the way until you get back to basically the Trans-Canada Highway. So this can definitely be a little bit painful, but you know, if you can pass, then you're not going to do too bad. For the next while, there's really not a whole lot to look at. Like, you got some of these rolling hills and you got a lot of livestock and whatnot, but yeah, so this, yeah, I'll check in with you guys when I'm kind of getting to a turn. Yeah, damn, I don't remember that being that boring. Rolling up on Turner Valley now, so we're still not at anything anywhere near fun. Here's where you got to pay a little bit of attention though, because you do have to make a turn in the city. So I'm going to show you where those are. Alright, so it's pretty well the only stop sign that you're going to hit, and if you look, it says, you know, 22 south, and you got to keep going left. So now that you made that left, you're going to just kind of follow this until you hit the next town, and that's where you're going to have to make another turn. Well, congratulations, or maybe sorry for your loss, but now you found yourself in Black Diamond, Alberta, and there will be another turn coming up. And there is a Black Diamond. Okay, basically the only stop you're going to end up making, you end up hitting the lights, and if you look on the other side in a really inconvenient looking spot, you'll see 22 south. So you make this right turn, and now you just keep going for a while. Alright, Longview is in 18 kilometers, so that's like, let's say 11 miles. Take in this nothingness scenery, and I will check in with you guys at Longview. Alright then, so coming down the hill here, I see a road closed and cop lights flashing. That's just awesome sauce. I kind of wanted to get gas at that gas station that's like just on the other side of that cop car, because this next right turn is like the turn, but this is the only place to get gas for the next like couple 100 miles. So awesome. Okay, so if you see that that sign, it says Highwood Trail, Kananaskis Country. That is the turn you want to make, but if you don't have like a 65 million liter tank, you're gonna have to fill up with gas here in town, and I'm just trying to see how I'm gonna make that happen. Alright, so no problem apparently. I guess whatever was going on is finished now. So I am going to get gas and probably grab a drink and have a couple of smokes. Alright, so I got myself some gas. Had kind of a coffee, but it was like super bad, so I only had a few sips of it. And it was really expensive. Whatever. So now we are on the Highwood Pass, or Highwood Trail, whatever you want to call it. Don't pass by that gas station, depending on your tank size or whatever, because there really isn't much, and there isn't much for cell phone service going through this pass, so that'd be a really bad time to run out of fuel, just so you know. Alright, so I just passed the sign. Yeah, it's 150 kilometers to the Trans-Canada Highway, so, I mean, maybe your bike could make it. Mine probably could, like I could probably do the lap on one tank, but you'd definitely be cutting her close. I'm about 10 minutes into it. The road's definitely nothing amazing yet, but you know, the scenery's starting to get there. Like as we head further into the Kananaskis country, you're going to start to get more forestry and whatnot, and as we get closer to those mountains up there, it'll start to get a little bit better. So just be patient, it's coming. Damn, it's windy today. Definitely didn't expect that. I mean, Calgary had no wind, and Longview had no wind, and then I got going on this road, and now it's just like gusty as hell. But, you know, we're getting into the good stuff now, so That's alright. Starting to get a little better, right? Not so much prairie and a little bit more turn in the road. Now that is scenery that you won't get on the bus tour. That's why you subscribe to this channel. Because Autotech takes you to places that, you just can't get that stuff. Unless you live here and you've done this 1,000 times, and then you're just like, shut the fuck up. Oh, something's about to get killed. No. Oh, man, that little gopher survived. I know that won't show up on the camera. You know, if you happen to come to this city, like with your family or whatever, so the bike's out of the question, and you have a car rental, this is actually a really good spot, like just to take the wife and the kids or whatever, or the wife and the dog, and come out here. Like, if hiking's your thing, there's, I don't know, probably a few dozen hiking trails along here, so there's also some really good downhill biking if that's your sort of thing. I mean, the only bicycling type thing I do is something with a motor on it. That's just me. As you can see, you could do horseback riding, and I know there's a company that does guided horseback riding through here. They got some good picnic spots and stuff too. The good thing about like a lot of this like national park type stuff is they label everything pretty clear, so you'll be riding along or driving along, and then there'll be like right up here this blue sign, like you'll see a blue sign coming up, and then you can look at it and it's like, oh, this is Cat Creek, and then it's got a picnic bench, so you know it's a picnic spot, or a good horse spot, I guess, apparently. Even when people move over like that in their lane, like I'm not a fan of passing somebody I don't know in their own lane, so I appreciate the gesture, good sir, but I'm not passing you in your own lane. Do watch out for livestock on the highway. That could definitely be a hazard of Kananaskis country. And it doesn't really matter where you are either. Like, I'm quite a ways into it now, but even like if you're out by like Bragg Creek and stuff and you're heading towards like McLean Creek, there would just be random cattle on the highway. Like, it's just, I don't understand it. They must be allowed to free range out here, and that's why they do. While we're on the topic of that, if you see, as I'm about to come up on it here, this brown stuff on the pavement here and the stuff I just rode through, that's not dirt, just so you know. That is what we call a prairie pie or cow pie, whatever you want to call it. It's cow shit. So, yeah, it's going to be all over you if you drive through it like I just did. I don't see any splattered up my leg at the moment, but there have been times where I have gotten home and I'm like, oh, man, come on. Alright, there's some scenery for you. That's pretty cool. It's definitely a good spot. I saw a sign. That one is called Mount Lipset. Now, I gotta wonder what lips they're calling it after. There is still snow up here. It's not that cold though. Like, it's definitely colder than it was at the bottom, but this route, when it comes to like the beginning or the end of the season, like I've ridden up here with the Angry Ginger in late August, and it's snowing like kind of in this general area where I am right now. So definitely keep that in mind. Alright, this looks like it may be an excellent spot to top up some nicotine levels and water some trees. This is just outstanding. All by my lonesome. Until I pull my stuff out and then some random person's gonna come out of the trees. What are you doing? And I'll be like, God damn it. That was an artistic smoke break. And I didn't end up with exposing myself to miner's charge. That's always something I'm concerned about, is if I go ahead and just whip her out in the bush and then some children come walking out or something like that. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Well, I just passed the sign. We're, over 60% through this thing. Got about 50 kilometers, so it's like 30 miles to the Trans-Canada Highway, and those gates that we just passed are letting us know that we're no longer in Kananaskis country. So we're getting on the tail end of it, and it's definitely starting to like warm up. Like I can feel it. Like it wasn't cold at the top, but it was definitely a solid 10 degrees colder. I don't know, I'm not sure what that would be in Fahrenheit, but it was cooler than it was at the bottom, and now we are warmer than we were a little bit ago. I'd say we've been doing pretty good to just hit our first group of travel trailers and motorhomes. But of course, it's at a spot where I can't pass. Blech. Oh, come on, let's go over here. It's been nothing but unpassable areas, and I don't know, sometimes I don't feel like pulling a yammy noob and crossing a double yellow and pushing my luck on a mountain road that you can't exactly see around. I think it's safe to say we are back into the boring views, getting back into the prairie land. This casino here on the right is called the Stony Nakota Resort and Casino. The casino's not anything fantastic. I don't think the resort's all that nice. But I'll tell you what, it is on Indian land. So you know what that means. They allow smoking in it. That is just a magical thing. Although I guess I'm not allowed to say Indian anymore. It is indigenous. Now we're back on the Trans-Canada Highway. We're heading east towards Calgary. That is the other way that you can go in there. So if you wanted to, you could take the Trans-Canada east and then head south on the Highway 40. It's not going to be called the Highwood Trail down at that end. It's just going to be called like Highway 40, and then as you kind of get going further into it, it's going to become Highwood Pass Trail or whatever it was again. Well, alright there, guys and gals. After about 30 minutes of just heading east on number 1, not making any turns, just being bored to death, and fighting through the weekend warrior traffic, you will find yourself back in Calgary. So I got you out of the city, got you back into the city. Find your own damn way home or to your hotel from here. Can't be responsible for everything. Jesus Christ, holding your hand every step of the way. Just kidding. I don't know what hotel you're staying at, so I mean, feel free to message me, and I'll see what I can do about helping you find your way back there, or I'll just show up randomly and watch you sleep, and then it'll be in one of my videos. Oh yeah, and as always, I'll put the map at the end of the video so you can see the route we just did and you can check it out for yourself. So that is the famous Highwood Pass, or Highway 40, which is another popular route here in the Calgary, Alberta area. So I hope you guys kind of enjoyed it. Just remember though, I mean, from that Longview until Trans-Canada, I mean, that's 150 kilometers. So, I mean, I only really showed you guys like every 15 minutes or so. So, I mean, there's lots of scenery that you didn't get to see, and there's lots of stuff that you can do on your own. So, hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you're new to this, make sure you go on and hit that subscribe button. And thanks for taking the time and watching.